Is America becoming a nation of renters? Well, Grant Cardone, real estate mogul, huge time real estate investor, really seems to think so. And maybe there's a reason why he thinks that, or maybe he just wants that to be the case because he's buying apartment buildings. But when I really started to look into this deeper, I came across a Bloomberg article that was actually titled, "America Should Become a Nation of Renters." And when I first saw that, I actually read it wrong. I thought it said America is a nation of renters or is becoming a nation of renters, but they're actually suggesting that we should. And that message really made me angry, not just because I'm a real estate agent and I'm selling houses, but because of where I came from. I don't know if anybody knows this about me, but I grew up in a very poor family living in apartments, and most of my family, they are renters, and we were evicted over and over and over, and it is a trap that can be hard to get out of. So coming from that other end of being in America and that other side of the American dream, I have a lot of passion for this. So let's dive into this and really see what the article said as to why they suggest that we should be a nation of renters. So the first thing they talked about was that homeowners have a lack of liquidity. I guess maybe that could be true, but when we really look at renters and the lack of liquidity they have, most renters have a net worth of $6,300. So how much liquidity does a renter have on average if their net worth is averaging less than $10,000? I'm assuming not much. Whereas the average net worth of a homeowner is 40 times higher than that on average, and that's about $255,000. So obviously you can do the math. You understand that most homeowners will actually have more liquidity overall because they have higher net worth, they have assets, right? And it may be tied into their primary residence, but that opens up the door to other financial possibilities and capabilities. So I just think that's a crazy statement. I don't believe in it, and I'm sure most people don't, especially people that own a home and most people that don't want to be a renter. Now, the other thing that they said was that being a renter allows you to test new neighborhoods. Yes, in theory, if you think about that, yeah, you can flip-flop around a lot more instead of being rooted into one home. But again, as a renter, you don't have much money to truly play with. And then on top of that, you're competing against the inflation of everything in this country right now. But more importantly, the rising cost of rent. And if somebody really wants to test out a new market and say they can afford $2,500 and they want to go to more towards the metropolitan or more towards the city, and they're paying $2,500 in the suburbs, can they really just go and afford a higher rent price? Probably not. So it doesn't really give the desired ability to test out other neighborhoods because you're getting bracketed to what you can afford. Whereas as a homeowner, you build equity over time, and then you're able to take that equity and hopefully the rise in salary or commission or however you earn an income and apply that to scaling up to a different neighborhood, right? Or a different city. So again, I just call BS on that. And let's really talk about something that's even scarier. And again, this pisses me off even more than anything else. Right now, and this is a true stat, that it's 1 out of 4 homes in this country, not necessarily so much where we are, but in our country, 1 out of 4 homes is being bought by either institutional investors that are hedge funds and whatever else, big money, or out of state investors or just large time investors. And that's pretty alarming because what it's actually saying is that the people with money, the banks, the investors, the hedge funds, they see the value in real estate. They see the value in rent, right? Having a home that can be rented. So if you haven't followed or heard about the companies like BlackRock or Blackstone, two different companies, from what I understand, they both came from the same company at one point and split off, but both raising substantial capital. And based on some numbers I saw, they have almost 200 billion combined raised that they are putting towards buying real estate throughout the country. Again, we're not seeing it so much, or if any, in the New England market. Definitely not on the Seacoast or North Shore or Boston market from my understanding. Maybe I'm wrong and just haven't heard of it yet, but it's definitely happening in other parts of the country like Arizona. I've heard it happening in Florida and California. It's definitely happening, especially if they have that substantial amount of billions of dollars. And it's alarming because that means that our single family homes that are intended as the American dream are being gobbled up by investors. So what I'm really saying here is that it is crucial that we focus on buying homes for ourselves and for our families so that we can create wealth for ourselves and create generational wealth. And if you actually do believe in renting because you're in a better position of living in a major city that gives you opportunity for your career or whatever it may be, that's totally fine. I support that. But what I also support is building wealth through real estate. So if you're not going to build your wealth through the traditional American dream model, which some say it is dying because it's very difficult now to imagine you're going to create enough wealth to be able to retire just based off of the equity you have in your own home, because it's not exactly liquid. If you're not going to go that route, I strongly suggest that you consider investing in real estate, whether that's investing in, even if it is single family homes or smaller multifamily properties, or even the Grant Cardone route, which is buying commercial properties, whether they're 15 plus units, it could be 200 units, and you don't have to do this alone. You can actually partner with other investors and basically just throw some money in. A lot of them will take as little as $1,000 to $10,000 to $100,000. It just depends on how big or how small you want to play the game. If you're interested in anything I just talked about, whether it's obviously buying a house, that's our specialty, but we do work with a lot of investors, and we are also getting into investing at a large scale. So please reach out if any of this is concerning to you, or if it sparks that desire to own real estate. We want to help. You can reach me directly. My number is 978-994-9587. Call me or text me, and I will happily get you started with your plan to become financially free.